it aligned. Something shifted. Something I wanted to pursue. So I kept training on the side, kept taking acting classes on the side, finished my schooling, graduated with an engineering degree, and then moved out to Vancouver to pursue acting. I reached out to, I think, almost every agent in town to see if I could get a meeting. Got my agent, and 13 years ago started the professional journey. And it's been a long, tough, at times, career. And I'm very fortunately, the last, I think, 4 or 5 years have been more and more fruitful. But I don't know. I wouldn't change anything for the world. There were many, many downs and obviously many ups. I think if it's something you're passionate about and something that you love doing, you'll stick it out no matter how long it takes. Is my opinion on something, whatever it is. If you want to be a writer, if you want to be a mechanical engineer, whatever it is, you're going to run into ups and downs in life. And I don't know. I always try to tell people that whatever it is that you want to do, I think as long as your heart's in the right place and you're a good person and you keep working at it, it's going to work out. You're not in control of when it's going to work out, but I can guarantee it will work out just as long as you stick it through.
How does that work?
And never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be working with Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? I believe in that whole vision board thing and everything, but for some reason, growing up, loving Jim, loving Ace Ventura, really helped me through the times that I was getting bullied in school. I got bullied a lot as a kid. And doing impersonations of Jim and Ace Ventura really kind of helped me get through those times. But for some reason, my brain he was never on the list of people to work with because my brain was just never going to happen. I got all these people, this wish list, and it's no, don't even put Jim on there. It's never going to happen. And then lo and behold, it's Jim Carrey, Sonic the Hedgehog, which is, Sonic 2 was mainly the game that I first started playing on the Sega Genesis. So a lot of amazing things came together for it to happen.
Okay, so I have to forgive me if anything's questions I have might have come up on the meet and greet before, but what is it like, speaking of Jim Carrey, what's it like working with Jim Carrey?
Dude, it's so wonderful. There was definite anxiety going in because there were those warnings that you get of be careful about meeting your heroes. You never want to meet your heroes because you're going to be disappointed or whatnot. And Jim was total opposite. You know what I mean? He was wonderful energy, so positive, big-hearted, very generous, very gracious on set. Was willing to talk a lot of things out, and we came up with a lot of amazing ideas. And a lot of what you see with Agent Stone and Dr. Robotnik in the movie wasn't on the page. That wasn't in the script. Agent Stone was pretty straightforward, just kind of pretty serious demeanor and whatnot. And then through the evolution in these chats that we have with Jim and with Jeff Fowler, our amazing director, one of our producers, Toby Asher, we just came up with these amazing ideas and just started to have fun, and the relationship evolved, and everybody was just blown away. They're we never envisioned this for Robotnik and Stone. We never ever envisioned it. And that was from Jim. I mean, Jim was the one that opened that up. The first thing Jim said was, Stone is here for a reason. Robotnik wouldn't have Agent Stone here if Agent Stone didn't have something to offer, as a human being. So that was how it started. And he's so funny, and he's such a hard worker, man. I don't think I've seen anybody work as hard as Jim does.
Okay, how did you land the role of Agent Stone?
I auditioned with a ton of people. I think they held auditions for Agent Stone in LA and Vancouver. I auditioned in Vancouver, and I taped through the casting office here, and I think it was a few weeks later we got the call saying that we landed the role. I was just blown away. I thought we were going to go through a lot of processes. I didn't even meet Jeff or any of the team until I was on set.
Was it? I was watching the movie. I noticed that his role is pretty much ended the moment Jim finds the glowing quill, and we pretty much that's the end of we see of Stone. Was there any of your performance left on the cutting room floor that didn't make it into the movie?
Not really. There was this little snippet during the Robotnik chase of Sonic when he's in his little egg pod. And there was a little moment that Stone calls Robotnik, and he pops up on his little screen, and he's just like, Dr. Robotnik, and he's like, not now, Stone. And he's like, but, and then the general shoves me out of the way and then starts berating Robotnik, and then Robotnik hangs up on him. But I don't think, I honestly think that it didn't really need to be there. I don't think it added too much to the story had they kept it in. I think it streamlined the movie a lot better in that little, having that little moment cut out.
Alrighty. Do you see a return for Agent Stone in the sequel?
Oh man, I hope so. It would be so great to come back. I'm just happy that that they got the thumbs up on a second one. I'm a huge fan of the movie myself. I'm a big fan of the games, and I'm so happy they're getting a second movie. I think they're working on the script right now, waiting for it to get greenlit, and we'll see. Fingers crossed. I hope he comes back, and that get to have more fun with Stone and Robotnik.
What has been the most rewarding experience that you've taken away from this movie?
Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, first off, just booking a film of that size is unbelievable. You know what I mean? It's a studio picture, Paramount. It's a theatrical release. It had a huge budget. It's for a video game that I played as a kid. Never imagined that they would do a live action film, and lo and behold, you get to be a part of that. And then you're working opposite Jim Carrey. I mean, it just kept it's so layered. And then, the premiere experience, being there, and the blue carpet, and meeting a bunch of media, and they had a bunch of kids there too from some not-for-profit organizations, and chatting with them and getting to meet them was unbelievable. And then through that experience, I got involved with a not-for-profit organization called Lollipop Theater Network. And what they do is they basically bring movies that are in the theater to the children's hospitals for kids that can't get out of the hospital, so they don't miss out on the opportunity to see a movie like Sonic, or I think they did it with Scooby-Doo didn't get the chance to come out, I don't think, but pretty much that's their goal. So I was in LA just before the pandemic, and I got to do 4 or 5 hospital visits, and they got to see the movie, and I got to chat and meet a bunch of kids. And, that led to meeting a bunch of people in the fandom of Sonic, online, and then getting into Twitch and doing fundraisers. I mean, it's just so layered. I don't know. It's just, there's too much to take away from it. You know what I mean?
That's true. Let me see.
Does that answer any of your question?
Yes, quite a bit. Let me see. I'm looking for... see if there's any panel room open for this for any fan questions. I do have some more here. Let me see. Before we end this, we got a little bit of time though. Is there anything you'd like to promote?
Not right now. I mean, the only thing I'm really doing is, I'm active on social media, putting the word out there of anything that's going on, with the Black Lives Matter movement and with Pride. So I try to be vocal that way. And, I've got my Twitch stream, which has been a blast to be a part of, and getting to meet so many new people. And, people get to watch me, be trash at video games, which is great. And
I've seen a little bit of that one.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing Shadow of the Colossus right now. And a lot of the people on the chat really helped me through. Because I think I would have rage quit a bunch of times without the help of my followers and stuff. But yeah, I do that typically Tuesdays and Saturdays, and that's helped me stay busy through the pandemic and staying home.
Okay, let me go on Discord and see if I can get some questions for you from the audience.
Right, and I got to shout out Trekkie U. Trekkie U is one of the they're the ones that like really helped me with Shadow of the Colossus. We'd all be doomed without Trekkie U. So.
Okay, I'm also going to want to make an apology to Greg Hong. He had asked on the previous panel, he asked me to mention animation under lockdown, and unfortunately we're wrapping up, and I forgot, so I apologize, Greg, on that end, on my end. Let's see.
We apologize, Greg. Accept the apology, Greg.
I feel like physics and such.
Let's see here. Sorry for the little bit of silence here.
No worries. You're checking Discord right now?
Yeah, I don't know if we made a panel for this. Let me see.
What? How?
It's under Panel Room Cove again, so yeah.
Oh, it's under Cove? Okay.
Panel Room Cove.
We're in the
Alrighty.
buddy. It's like Hall H, but for virtual. Cove. Hall Cove.
Okay, so anybody in the Cove? I think this is the same one that we had the Sonic Boom panel on.
Where we've been fielding our Q&A people from the panel room.
Okay.
Sorry
Sorry for the silence there.
It's
everyone.
all good. I sit in the silence. Deep breaths in the silence.
The calm before the storm.
Calm before you're gonna hit
meditation.
Like 70 questions in the next 30 seconds. Let's make it happen, everybody. Let's go. I'm ready. We'll do like a quick trivia. Not a trivia. I suck at trivia. We'll do like a quick Q&A. I'll give you one-word answers. Let's go. Nobody asks any questions.
Come on and head on over to the panel room Cove chat. I don't see anything.
What do you mean you don't see anything? There's acting like a billion questions a second in here, dude.
Am I on the wrong panel room Cove chat?
I think there's two of them. You're in the wrong one. You're in the voice chat. There's a right above it is the text chat.
Everything's falling apart. But we're okay. We're hanging out. We're all here. We're breathing easy.
Yeah, you're in
How's the chat doing? How's everybody in the chat doing? Let's throw out some hearts.
Okay, here's a great one from Majestic Baffy. What scene was the hardest to keep a straight face while acting?
Number one, hello, Majestic Baffy. How you doing? The toughest scene to keep a straight face in is the part where Robotnik has Stone pin himself against the wall, and then he pulls out the quill and zaps himself in the mouth with it. I had the hardest time keeping a straight face because, again, that wasn't written in. Jim was coming up with these ideas, and then we were rolling, and he just pretends to get electrified, and I start like tears coming down my eyes. My shoulders are shaking. I'm trying to hide away from the camera. Obviously, I'm like right in frame. It took us a lot of takes to get a few with me not laughing. I had to figure it out. I had to like not look at him. I had to react differently. And then he had these moments where he had one moment where he zaps himself, and I react, and then he kind of like offers it to me.
No, that's my favorite part. Just offers
yeah. And I was like, no thanks. But we had a bunch of ideas of like, there was one where I'm like, no, I'm sober, like just stuff like that, and I just couldn't keep it together. It was a blast. That was the toughest one, probably. The one where he grabs me by the inside of my mouth was hard, but the quill one was the toughest.
Alrighty. From the GSP, what other characters from the Sonic cast would you love to see in the next Sonic movie?
Ooh, I would love to see Knuckles. I'd love to see Knuckles in the next movie. That would be pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see like what the vibe is with the character, how they write the character. You know, I'd imagine he's kind of got like an edge to him, but yeah, I'd love to see Knuckles in there. Knuckles was one of my favorites growing up playing Genesis, so it would be great to interact with Knuckles. Hey, bring Stone back, bring Knuckles into the movie, and have us do a little interaction.
Yeah, I heard a theory some people were wanting like The Rock as Knuckles for the next movie, which would be kind of interesting.
Could you imagine them actually having physically The Rock there, giving him like the gloves with the spikes on it, and just painting him orange? Like no CG, just like an orange Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That'd be insane. Okay, let me see. There was one question here. Well, let's see who said it. From Najay, were there any lines you said that were not in the script that you got to ad-lib?
Oh, we got to do quite a bit of ad-libbing. In the first scene with the Major, when Robotnik asks Stone at the end, he's like, "Can you feel it, Stone?" Stone's like, "I can feel it, Doctor." And he's like, "It's evolution." That was all improv. And there were different versions of that. The latte with steamed Austrian goat milk, and that dance was, Jim came up with that dance, the choreography, and he and I kind of came up with what the interaction would look like when Stone interrupts him. So yeah, Stone was initially supposed to just come in with some coffees and everything, but the coming up with the ideas of like what's the coffee, the latte with steamed Austrian goat milk, all that stuff was improvised.
Okay, see, Violet Ganache 42. Is Agent Stone aware of what happened to Robotnik at the end of the movie?
That is a very good question. I think Stone knows that Robotnik is missing, and I'd like to believe that Stone is currently in search of Robotnik. I don't know. I don't think he knows where he is, though.
Cool.
Alrighty. Infinite Saturn asks, what was the first Sonic game you've ever played?
First Sonic game I ever played was Sonic 2. I think it came with my Sega Genesis console. And then I went back and played Sonic 1 and then Sonic 3. Which was Sonic and Knuckles, wasn't it? Sonic 3 was Sonic and Knuckles, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sonic. Well, there was Sonic 3, and then after that was Sonic and Knuckles, and
okay.
There's a whole story behind those because that was originally one game that they split into two because it was so long, so they were able to sell more. That's why it has the lock-on technology in Sonic and Knuckles.
That's
so it was originally all supposed to be one game.
Yeah. I remember it had the little latch that you would open, and then you could click in the other cartridge.
Yeah, okay. Crater Labs has an interesting question. Did you check out previous Robotnik assistants in the cartoons or the games while working on Agent Stone? I know there's, like Sam, there's Snively, who's the only other human assistant he has. It's kind of a backstabber, but while Agent Stone more actually kind of seems to love and admire Robotnik.
Yeah. I mean, I was familiar with Snively. I was familiar with Orbot and Qbot. And what was the rooster? Scratch?
Yeah, there was Scratch and Grounder.
Yeah. So I was familiar with all of those. I knew that we wanted to bring in that kind of henchman vibe, but also, coming into that movie, what I had was what was written on the page, and he was just pretty straightforward. And then it evolved. I think I was very fortunate that Stone wasn't really based on anybody, so there was a lot of freedom there. But I'd like to see where it evolves, like how it goes forward. If we get more chances to see Stone in the next movie. But yeah, I was familiar with Snively, particularly in the cartoons.
An interesting thing, though, the person who voices Grounder was one of the generals in the movie as well.
Oh, was it? Oh man, what's? Who was? Do you remember his name? I know.
I don't know his name. If Shane wants to hop in and give me the name, I think she knows. I think it's also the person who voiced Robotnik in Sonic Underground.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Wait, I was monitoring the chat. What happened? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I think he was also Optimus Primal, wasn't he? Gary Chalk, was it?
Gary Chalk voiced Robotnik in Sonic Underground.
Yeah. I know Gary.
Yeah,
I know Gary.
he
I
was
was
the
like,
voice of Grounder, right?
I believe so. Yeah. It's been a while since I watched AOSTH, but I'm like the expert on Sonic Underground. I can tell you that one right now.
yeah, I was most familiar with Gary Chalk's voice work in Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars, when he was Optimus Primal.
Oh, that goes pretty far back.
Yeah.
I got a good question here from Crater Labs. Do you see Agent Stone as a government agent who was assigned to Robotnik, or more as Robotnik's guy who deals with the government?
I think that Stone started off within the government and then was assigned to Robotnik, and the government thought that it wasn't really going to work out, and the joke's on them.
Okay, let me see. A good one here. Okay, Owen HK47 asks, what do you think Agent Stone will do now that Eggman is gone?
I think Stone spends a lot of time in tears. I think he's trying to find Robotnik. I think he probably has his days where he's lost hope. He still makes the 2 lattes with steamed Austrian goat milk and just drinks one while he looks at the other one, missing Dr. Robotnik and wishing that he could just.
Somebody had an interesting fan comic like that I saw on Twitter once, where it's just like it's wintertime and Agent Stone's just standing around with a latte in his hands, and Robotnik comes back from one of the rings, just takes it right from him.
I saw that, just grabs it, walks away.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. That's the one thing I like about this movie. It's about loneliness and, belonging, where that's something that Sonic really wants and something Robotnik thinks he doesn't need. But at the end of the movie, he's gone insane and he's carrying around a big face-shaped boulder and calling that Agent Stone instead.
Yeah.
Proving that he does need somebody, to talk to.
I think, Jim, I heard Jim say this in an interview with regards to, Sonic is represents purity and innocence, and he's in the pursuit of love and companionship. And Robotnik is just so blinded by greed that he can't see the connection that's around him already. So he has what Sonic wants already, but can't see it, which was interesting to me.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's see. Let me get another question on here. Okay, that's that one already. Okay, Sega Saturn. They have always good questions. What do you enjoy most about your acting career?
Oh man, I don't know if there's anything most in particular. I think the whole journey, like I said at the beginning, it's been a long journey, and there's definitely been some tough moments early on. Had a really tough time. I needed to figure out a lot of things in my life personally, and then once I started to heal as a person, things started to work out more in my career and in relationships with friends. And I think it's just the ability to. I've been fortunate in playing characters that give a voice to the voiceless, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? With Silas Dengermore, it was about the LGBTQ plus community, and also having a voice and representation, and being a person of color who's also gay and can be a fairy tale prince. For me growing up, I never thought I'd get the opportunity to play a character like that, because, I was like, I don't look like the typical prince or whatnot. So, and then Hannah in Supernatural is non-binary. And I didn't know that playing that role was going to have the effect that it did on that community. And to be able to have those serious conversations and people share their experience with me, I think those are the moments that I really, truly cherish within this career, is being able to give a voice to those that have felt like they don't have one, and then a conversation comes up out of it.
Let me see. That's it. Sorry, I'd always just cut off right there. I apologize. Apple Jackson asks, how do you feel about all the Agent Stone fan art out there?
I love it. Look, I love it. It's wonderful. I laugh at the Robotnik stuff. I'm cool with it. The way I look at it, man, is you're not hurting anybody. Do your thing. I love art. I grew up being an artist too. Wanted to pursue it, but then I went with the sciences and then eventually into acting. But I love it. I love supporting all of that. I anytime I see a fan art, I either like it or try to retweet or repost with credit to the artist. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when I see people post artwork that's not theirs and they don't give the person credit.
Alrighty, let me see what else we got here.
Let's go and start wrapping it up, Jason.
Okay.
No. We're gonna do this forever.
No, dude, I would totally do this with you all day long if I could, but unfortunately, we do got other people waiting. So,
Thank you so much, Lee. It's been an absolute honor to spend this half hour with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
no problem. And we'll see you at 3:15 for the second meet and greet session.
Awesome. Come join us, everybody. Second meet and greet, 3:15
Yes.
Pacific time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye now.